The Cheeseboy 628 Show, starring Cheeseboy 628.
Hey YouTube, what's going on? This is Cheeseboy628 here today giving you an OU tier Wi-Fi battle, and this battle is versus my buddy Dean. He's a pretty darn good VGCs player and also pretty darn good at singles, as you'll see by this very epic match. Now, I haven't used this team in a little while, so just to let you guys know, I've got that Dragon Dance Lapras, Specially Defensive, a Violite Dusclops, Banded Talonflame, Physically Defensive, Rapid Spin, Tentacruel, Scarf, Garchomp, and Mega Mawile. So I anticipate that my buddy Dean is going to have a good team and play well with it, but I didn't expect that he was going to have the top tier OU threats, so that is definitely something I have to worry about. If only I had rocks on this team, could I actually do really well because of Talonflame and Dragonite, but unfortunately I'm going to have to manage without them. The only possible Mega he has on his team is his Mega Garchomp, which as you can see here in the team preview, that is his Mega, but of course there are other forms of Garchomp that are also very viable that I'm going to have to scout out for, but let's see how this battle goes. So I'm going to start out with my Talonflame, as it can do a ton of work to his team, except for that Rotom Wash, but he actually starts with his Talonflame as well, and maybe it was a speed tie here, but if so, I just won it, and I was able to kill his Talonflame first turn, so that's pretty darn huge for me. But he probably figures now that I am banded, so I'm going to have to switch out, and I am going to go into my Dusclops to eat up whatever this thing has to go for, and it turns out he's going to go for a Willow for some nice residual, and then he's free to Volt Switch the next turn, of course. Now he is going to Volt Switch, and I know since Talonflame's gone, he has nothing to take this Willow now, except for, I guess, this Ferrothorn, just because of just residual damage, and Ferrothorn is usually just plain support. But at the very least, Ferrothorn is a physical attacker in the case that it ever does have Power Whip or Gyro Ball, so it's still nice to cripple it at least a little bit. Here, I don't want to stay in on this thing, and you're going to see how much this Ferrothorn just ruins me. First, I'm going to go into my Mawile here, and he actually is going to go for the Leech Seed. So of course, I'm going to have to take that annoying residual damage every turn, and of course, I have my Mega Stone, so I'm not going to have any form of recovery, and so I can Mega Evolve here, but the only move that hits this Ferrothorn that I have neutrally is Sucker Punch, and he's actually just going to Protect here, so that doesn't even matter. Oh wait, I'll go for the frickin' Swords Dance on his Protect here. Wasn't necessarily predicting that, but at the very least I needed a Swords Dance to do any decent damage to that Ferrothorn, and I don't realize it yet, but he does have Rocky Helmet, as you can tell that he's not getting lefties each turn. He's actually going to go for the Power Whip here for whatever reason, I guess just to get a little bit of damage in between turns. But yes, I'm at +4, and I'm a freaking Mega Mawile. I better be doing a ton of damage to this monster. I'm going to go for the Iron Head, and I barely miss out on the KO, and unfortunately, I'm going to take a ton of residual damage because of this. So after the Power Whip and then the Leech Seed, I am at very low health now, and he's actually going to barely live the frickin' burn. And of course, I'm going to switch out here. I'm going to go to my Talonflame. It's probably not the best play, especially since he goes for the Leech Seed, predicting on the switch. Holy jeez, this Ferrothorn is ruining me. At the very least, I probably should have just sacked Mawile there, although I kind of just wanted the priority with the Sucker Punch. I have freaking Brave Bird with Talonflame. What am I thinking? I don't know, it was definitely a misplay on my part though, because now my Mawile is really low, my Talonflame's really low, and Talonflame is going to be pretty key in taking out a lot of his team. So here I'm just going to go into my Garchomp as he brings in his Aegis Slash. I'm just going to go for the Earthquake, do a ton of damage, and turns out he's freaking Weakness Policy. So of course, he's going to be able to go for the Shadow Ball here and just destroy my life with the +2 Shadow Ball. And of course, I'm going to go down. So that's kind of unfortunate because that was definitely one of my faster pokes. But now I have this Talonflame. I'm going to be pretty free to go for the Brave Bird here. Sure, you can King Shield, but I think at that range that a banded Talonflame that at -1 is probably able to take it out from that range, but not entirely sure. Nonetheless, I'm able to take him out. Now, he brings in his Garchomp, and he is going to Mega Evolve, and I know a Mega Garchomp is able to take a Brave Bird with about 40% left, but still enough damage to do a significant chunk to it. So yes, as you can see here, it's doing between 50 and 60%, so that's pretty decent damage, and now I can bring in my Lapras, which can easily revenge it with the Ice Shard, but he's going to predict that, of course, and he's going to go into his Rotom Wash. Now, I do carry Body Slam on this Lapras over Return just because I don't know how happy my Lapras is. Otherwise, I would totally pick Return, as they do suggest it on Smogon as well, as opposed to Body Slam. Sure, Body Slam is 30%, but I'm a freaking sweeping Lapras, you know that. But now, I'm going to bring in my Tentacruel here, and I'm not taking this T-Bolt well at all, because number one, it's not a Volt Switch, and number two, I'm physically defensive. Now, I just keep going for Scalds because I'm really hoping to burn this Rotom Wash, because that would be some really nice residual damage, but unfortunately, I do not have such luck. He's going to finish me off with a Hydro Pump here, and now I can bring in my Mawile. So here, I know that he's probably going to go for the Willow, and I'm thinking he's probably going to predict the Sucker Punch, so I'm going to go for the Play Rough to do as much damage as possible. Turns out this thing has a Citrus Berry first off. I was kind of thinking that I had Resto Chesto because I didn't see lefties, but nonetheless, Mawile just does not do enough. I guess it's fully physically defensive judging by how little damage I did. Now, I bring in my Dusclops. I can pretty much just wall this Rotom Wash, and so on the Switch, I'm pretty free to just press Willow, and thankfully I do hit on the incoming Mega Garchomp, which is pretty nice because residual damage plus the fact that anything physical related to the Mega Garchomp is not going to do very much. So here I'm thinking this is my only chance, if I'm going to have any, to set up with Lapras. As you can tell, that Burned Earthquake barely does about a quarter. Now I can start setting up some Dragon Dances and hope that I can get as much set up as possible. I'm really hoping here that he can live one more burn turn, and that way I can set up to +2, and hopefully, just hopefully, I should be able to sweep the rest of his team. So yes, he barely lives the burn here, so I can press Dragon Dance. I'm going to be a +2 speed, +2 attack, outspeeding his entire team, and he's going to go for the Earthquake one more time, and that's going to bring me pretty low, but I do have Ice Shard for priority against Dragonite, and I do have Body Slam for that Rotom Wash. So he's going to bring in the Rotom. I can just press Body Slam, thankfully able to take him out, so that'll be all. Oh my lord. See, this is why we carry Return instead of Body Slam. But I don't know how happy my Lapras is. Lapras never tells me his feelings. We never go on dates anymore, and well, I guess it's kind of an awkward relationship. Anyway, so I go down and just rub it in. This man switches out his Dragonite into his Rotom Wash as I go for the Pain Split, because I thought that was my only chance, thinking I could barely live something from that Dragonite from that range. But yes, he predicts that nicely. Goes out to his Rotom Wash. He's able to finish me off with the T-Bolt, and that'll be a 2-0 victory in his favor. So that was definitely a really good match, Dean. Hope to face you again sometime, and thank you all for watching. Like, comment, sub, and until later, peace.